Thank you to our final patrons, Citizen Lancelot, Praise the Sun, Strawbones, and Aaron. The Demon King was desperate above all other things. Death was coming for him trillions upon trillions of years before it should. As his son was tearing himself away from the king felt the power of all the beings that stood before him. The Fairy King was low on magic. Competing with his comrades against the might of the dark deity was far beyond his limits. That strange human had lost their immortality, so all the damage done to them actually chipped away at their seemingly boundless vitality. The other human was dying, no doubt, even if their power eclipsed the king in his prime. The giant girl was of no concern, all of her magic having been used to create the grave for the god. The Witch of Belialawan may be an issue with her infinite magic pool, but her power could be negated if all went according to this rush plan he was daring to develop. The same with that puppet of the madman Gother, whose stamina may be endless, but their power was both ignorable and possibly underwhelming with the right preparation. That left the Daughter of Light, whose power could also be made a non-issue. However, the real issue would be his own flesh and blood. Think his own offspring would be such a threat rather than an asset. And he could feel it. His power was being restored through a mixture of his own native healing and the goddess wench. He needed something to defeat him. He needed to create something that could destroy his own creation. Creations. He had one option. And as the last commandment of piety began to slip out from his second son's flesh, the king chose that option. As piety dove back into Zeldris, the other commandments sprawled out and slammed into the earth, and the Demon King allowed them to mutate and grow into their most previous hosts, as he worked all the mental and healing magic he knew into Zeldris, forcefully overwriting his and all the commandments' memory to a time not that long ago. Of course, first the revived Gallant burst into laughter, spinning his halberd with glee. "Finally, after all these years of imprisonment, I can take revenge on you, Meliodas." The Dark Prince blinked, confused. "I gotta be frank with you. This is perfect," Derriere declared. "The revenge we've been waiting for 3,000 years is finally upon us, and now I finally get to strike that traitor down. Is that what you mean?" Monspeed asked, and Derriere gave a nod and a grunt of affirmation. "I agree. I'm also happy to strike down this rebellious traitor in the name of our Lord," Fraudrin declared. "I'm sorry to have to do this to you, old friend," Gluxinia said, with sad eyes yet a sadistic smile, Basquios writhing and pulsing around the demonic Fairy King. "We do what must be done," Droll declared, taking up a fighting stance. "Doesn't mean we can't have fun doing it, though," Melascula hissed, her own darkness curling around her form. "With that being said, I believe it is time to bring death to the lost prince," Greyroad hummed. Esterosa stood there quietly, watching his other brother as he gripped his head. "Mel, brother." Zelda struggled and fought, nearly tearing his own hair out. Suddenly, he snapped into place. "Traitor!" "That is one sick, twisted old man you got there, Captain." "Oh?" "No," Meliodas said, inhaling deeply and exhaling before bursting into laughter upon realizing his father's desperation. "I see what you did there, you terrible old coot." Meliodas' laughter became all the more wild, even slightly crazed, but there was a narrowing of his eyes. "Guys, let me handle this." He reactivated the commandments in body, power, and curse. The Sins were shocked, but confused. Why did their captain seem so casual about this? "Captain, you shouldn't underestimate them. They've slain you once before," King cried as Meliodas began to walk forward, flipping Lost Vein casually in his hand. "King, watch this." The commandments, tired of their former leader's impertinence, rushed the casual kin of the king, and the battle began.